truly worth? Seriously, have you ever, like, put a number on it? 500,000, a million, maybe 10 million, or how about $500 million?
Right.
Or is it just something so fundamental that you can't really put a price tag on it? Our source for this deep dive, Leading Life. Your personal executive strategy, well, it makes a pretty bold claim right off the bat. Your life, my life, our lives are priceless, totally immeasurable. Okay, but here's the paradox, right? The thing that kind of makes you pause. If our lives are so incredibly valuable, I mean, truly beyond measure, why do we often manage them with way less rigor, less strategy, less planning than, say, a multi-million-dollar company? You just wouldn't see a big company running without a clear vision or detailed plans or tracking, would you? Yet, how often do we apply that same kind of executive thinking to our own lives? Let's unpack this a bit.
It's a huge disconnect, isn't it? And that's exactly the gap Faisal AlSamaani, the author of Leading Life, is trying to bridge. This deep dive into his work gives us a really unique perspective. It challenges us, to treat our most valuable asset, our life, with the strategic focus it deserves, moving from just reacting to things.
Actively leading it with
Yeah,
intention.
exactly. Leading with intent.
And that idea of intentionality, that feels like the real core here, doesn't it? The source really hammers home this point. Our lives are priceless, worth more than any figure imaginable. It sounds great, but it immediately kind of clashes with the everyday reality for a lot of us. Companies worth millions get all this meticulous planning and tracking, but our own lives, often not so much. Which brings us to AlSamaani himself. He's got, 25 years of experience leading projects?
Big ones, too. Government, global ventures, startups. He really knows systems and strategy.
But like you often find, the real power comes from the personal angle, right? He had this big realization, this epiphany. He actually called himself a hypocrite in his personal life.
It's a strong word, but yeah. And it's so relatable. AlSamaani talks about how, professionally he was crushing it, hitting these huge goals, constantly learning. But behind the scenes, his personal life was kind of falling apart. Health issues, strained relationships, growth just stalled. And the key insight wasn't that he lacked skills. It was, as he put it, the problem wasn't in my abilities or expertise. The problem was in my way of thinking.
That really hits home. I mean, how many of us pour everything into work, tracking targets for the boss, but our personal goals, they just kind of drift? What was the real cost of that imbalance, according to the source?
Well, he saw his life as just random stuff happening to him, not like a huge investment project that he was managing. The cost was losing that sense of agency, of direction. All his planning skills were just for work. He wasn't planning or following up on his own life with that same, diligence. It's more than just being busy. It's being strategic versus just organized.
So the big shift wasn't learning some new technique. It was a complete change in perspective.
Precisely. That was the breakthrough. Not more knowledge, but a totally different mindset. Instead of asking, how do I organize my life? Which, let's face it, usually leads to endless to-do lists and overwhelm. He started asking, how do I manage my most important investment?
Ah, okay. That simple rephrasing, it changes everything.
It does. It led him to look for completely different kind of executive-level solutions for his own life.
And he makes us think about it, too, in the source.
Yeah.
He poses this thought experiment. He asks you to imagine, okay, what if you managed your life like it was a $500 million company? Or even bigger stakes? What if some high authority tasked you with this mission, made you personally responsible? Just think about that. What's the very first thing you do? What's the immediate thought?
Right. And the answer, as AlSamaani saw it, was instantly clear. I need a very strong executive management team. No, obviously, he doesn't mean literally hiring people for your personal life. It's about adopting that kind of robust structure for yourself, creating an internal team of officers to guide your life strategically.
That makes total sense, yeah. If someone handed you $500 million, you wouldn't just wing it. You'd bring in the best systems, the best thinking. And he really ran with that idea, didn't he? Using innovation tools, business models, even AI.
Exactly. To think differently and create structured solutions for managing life.
And all that led to his framework, the personal executive management model, which is basically like having your own internal C-suite, right? CEO, CFO, CSO, COO. But for you?
It's a really smart, holistic model. He breaks it down into those 4 key roles, each with specific jobs, just like in a company. First, you've got the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Your internal CEO is basically the architect of your life's purpose. It's not just about goals, but defining your core values, the non-negotiables, and making sure everything aligns with that vision.
Okay. And often we let other things be the CEO, right? Like external pressures.
Precisely. We delegate it without realizing. The model says you need to actively take that role. Then there's the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. And this is way more than just money. It's optimizing all your personal resources.
Time, energy, attention, even relationships.
Exactly, all of them.
Yeah.
Asking, am I getting the best return on these investments? Like, is scrolling Instagram really the best use of my evening energy investment?
Good point. Okay, who's next?
Next is the CSO, the Chief Strategy Officer. Think of this as the visionary, the one looking ahead, the architect of your future impact. This role is about long-term planning, innovation, maybe identifying a new skill, or planning a big life change, always thinking about your future self.
So the big picture planner. Got it. And the last one.
And finally, the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. This is where the strategy meets reality. COO designs your daily systems, builds the habits, tracks your progress, and drives continuous improvement.
Ah, so if the CEO says get healthier and the CFO allocates time.
COO makes sure you actually do the workout and track how it's going, builds the operational engine.
I like that it's practical. He talks about holding weekly meetings with this internal team.
hmm Taking on each role, tracking things with personal OKRs or KPIs, like goals and metrics for your own life.
Just like a business would.
Yeah. And he mentions how AI tools can actually add a new dimension here, helping you brainstorm and manage this personal company even better.
Okay, but I can hear people thinking, I mean, I thought it too, a team to manage my life. Isn't that just overly complicated jargon? You know, like making life feel like work. Our minds resist that kind of structured approach to personal stuff sometimes.
It's a totally fair reaction, but the source reframes it really well.
Hmm.
What's fascinating is AlSamaani argues we already play these roles, we just don't have the titles or the system. He says every mother is a CEO by nature, and every father is a CFO by nature. We all manage things, we all have responsibilities and dreams.
Right, we do it intuitively.
We do. The challenge is making it formal, making it systematic, moving from doing it implicitly to doing it explicitly, strategically. It connects to that great line he uses. Not every common sense is a common practice. We know this stuff makes sense, but are we actually doing it consistently?
That's the real key, isn't it? Bringing structure to what we already do, maybe subconsciously. And the empowering part the source stresses is that it's about simplicity, not more complexity. He says something like, sometimes 15 minutes of weekly clarity can change the course of an entire life.
Exactly. It's not about hours of extra work. It's about focused, strategic thinking for a short time each week. And the more you invest in that clarity, the better the return on, well, your life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the source hits you with this calculation, reframing time as your ultimate investment. He uses the Saudi life expectancy, about 78.8 years, which is roughly 4,111 weeks. But the point is universal, right? These aren't just numbers. They are, as he puts it, limited shares of the most precious thing you own, your weeks.
Wow, limited shares. And when you think about it personally, like he notes over 2,400 of his weeks are already gone. Poof, irrecoverable. That's more than half for many of us listening.
It is, and the implication is stark. The fewer weeks that remain, the higher their value becomes.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Each week is this non-refundable investment opportunity.
Absolutely, and it's not meant to scare you, but to inspire you. It connects to his call to live each week with awareness, consciousness, and gratitude. Recognizing every week, every month, every year is an investment not just for you, but for your family, your community, your nation even. It's about planning well, putting in the effort, but then also finding peace, acknowledging that the ultimate outcome isn't always entirely in our hands.
Okay, that's a really important balance because with all this talk of CEOs and strategy, you have to ask, what happens when life just happens? You know, the unexpected curveball that blows up the best laid plans. Does this whole approach just add stress then?
No, not at all. And the source is very clear on this. It provides that crucial balance. It's grounded in understanding concepts like karawa karar, divine decree, and destiny. Life brings lessons and experiences we can't fully control. Think about global pandemics, economic shifts, personal crises. They can change everything instantly.
Right. No business plan survives contact with reality unchanged.
Exactly. So this isn't about rigid control. It's about diligent planning, effort, and then surrendering the outcome with peace. True leadership, even in companies, requires that adaptability.
So it's about flexible, enjoyable, internal leadership, as he puts it, not adding stress or trying to control the uncontrollable.
Precisely. Being rigid, even for a company, leads to fading away. Personal flexibility within that strategic framework is vital.
Okay, so if this model makes so much sense, and it's about adapting common sense, what's the real hurdle?
Well, this leads to the core question the source raises. The real challenge isn't, can I apply this model? It's more fundamental. Can I change my way of thinking?
That's the deep work, huh?
That's the true makeover required. Resisting that default mode of just letting life happen to us.
And it means making some big mental shifts, like seeing life not just as tasks, but as this incredible company you're managing, investing in every detail.
Yes, shifting from that passive, I don't know, mindset to active strategic thinking.
And ultimately moving from feeling like a victim of circumstances.
To becoming the proactive, intentional manager of your life, taking full ownership of your mindset, not just your actions.
Okay, so let's recap this deep dive then. The core message is your life. It's priceless, an invaluable investment, and it deserves the absolute best strategic executive management you can give it. Time to stop just drifting and start really leading it, like the CEO of your own life.
Beautifully put. And Al-Samani connects this personal mission to something bigger, sharing that powerful quote from HRH Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Our first wealth, which no wealth can equal, is an ambitious people, mostly youth, the pride of our country and the guarantee of its future. And he brings it right back to you, the listener. You are this wealth, this highest investment. Your potential, your ambitions, they're immeasurable and they matter.
So the call to action is clear. Today, give yourself that promotion. Manage your life not just as a CEO, but as an ambitious CEO. Own your value, lead with purpose, and as the source powerfully reminds us right at the end, remember who is proud of us and of whom we are proud.